vola ngwela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitaina na barongo na Bula FM, nambando na sere.
Bula, alang gonoa, ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti nambando na sere.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngo sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibio ng Bula FM nambando na sere nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barongo nga na Bula FM, nambando.
Bula FM, nambando na sere.
In the news tonight, legal aid hits 15,000 mark amidst challenges. Methodist Church makes chaplain pay decision. And dengue fight goes high-tech.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
More Fijians continue to access the services provided by the Legal Aid Commission, as more than 15,000 court cases are currently being handled by the Commission throughout Fiji. Speaking during the opening of the Regional Legal Aid Conference today, Attorney General Ayasaid Kayum says that the Commission is handling 3,319 family law cases, 9,967 criminal cases, and 2,040 civil cases. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The Legal Aid Commission has been praised for its continuous efforts in assisting Fijians despite the challenges it faces.
Interestingly enough, as far as advice work is concerned, the civil advice is actually the dominant one, which is 51% of all advice work is to civil matters. And family is 33% and criminal is 16%. What that goes to show is that the sort of redress that members of the public are seeking now, and indeed the services that the Legal Aid Commission must provide, must keep up with the times.
The work done by the Legal Aid Commission will also continue to be supported through various means.
In Fiji, with the funding from the European Union, UNDP supports the Legal Aid Commission to advance its work through initiatives such as this conference, for example, but also we also have other initiatives that add to this in this respect, and especially with delivering justice services to the far places that are hard to reach through, for instance, our REACH project.
The Legal Aid in Fiji has also been recognized as the best funded and equipped institution in the region.
Our role as legal aid providers is to safeguard the rights of the poor and vulnerable, those who would otherwise be left unassisted. Our role as legal aid providers is to ensure that we do not compromise on equality, on quality of that service delivered, just because he or she is not a paying client.
Discussions during the three-day conference will be enriched by the expertise and knowledge by over 70 legal aid experts and practitioners who come from countries such as New Zealand, the Netherlands, Canada, Brazil, and South Africa. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Methodist Church will now pay for chaplains serving in government schools and Methodist schools around the country, but not those at committee schools. This was clarified by Church President Reverend Dr. Epineri Vakandeovosa during the church conference this morning following motions questioning the removal of school chaplains next year. Sainani Boiler reports.
The Methodist Church today clarified that they will pay school chaplains at government and Methodist schools. However, committee schools will have to pay if they want a chaplain.
The church is ready to sponsor them, to support them financially to continue with the good work that they are doing in the schools. That goes to all the schools, and we are very grateful that the committee schools, where they have chaplains, we have been informed that despite the situation now with regards to the decision made by the Ministry of Education, they are also willing to support their chaplains.
Church Communications Officer Wilfred Rengunamanda says a motion was also brought up for the church to question the government on the consistency of paying chaplains.
That responsibility will be done by the General Secretary's office.
Meanwhile, the building of more schools is also a major priority of the Methodist Church.
I'm trying to implement part of the process in getting these schools to be built. Places around Mitilib and also some in the Volole.
Meanwhile, leading the discussion tomorrow will be the presentation from the business arm of the church, the Lakoyani Bow Holdings. The conference ends this Friday. Sainia Nimbola, FBC News.
Prevention is better than a cure is what the Ministry of Health continues to ascribe to after 12 Fijians died from meningococcal disease since last year and scores more were infected. Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangainabete is imploring Fijians to take preventative measures and to see a health practitioner if you have any suspected symptoms of the deadly disease. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Despite the national vaccination campaign last year for all 1 to 19-year-olds, the Minister for Health clarifying that immunisation doesn't work for everybody.
Unfortunately, we cannot pick who's going to have a strong immunity and who doesn't. So we have to be cautious. I'm grateful that we have a immunization program, a vaccination program that's very well covered. We did the men's vaccination last year. But we have to be mindful of the fact that we still have to be cautious.
Given that the disease is passed on through intimate contact, the ministry is urging the general public to practice prevention.
Don't share drinking glasses, don't share water bottles. If you're having kava, make sure you have your own bowl, things like that, and basic hygiene.
Meanwhile, according to the Fiji Pharmaceutical Society, there are less than a handful of pharmacies that stock the meningococcal vaccine, and prices range from $150 to $180 a shot. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The World Mosquito Program in Fiji is currently using drones to release adult Wolbachia mosquitoes in the Western Division as part of the Wolbachia project. The mosquitoes released will help reduce transmission of diseases like dengue, chikungunya and Zika. Last year, mosquitoes injected with the Wolbachia bacterium were successfully released in the Central Division in Lomani, Suva and Nakasi, and now almost 80% of the mosquitoes in those areas carry the Wolbachia bacterium.
We are using the unmanned aerial vehicle release, also known as drones, to release Wolbachia carrying mosquitoes. So as we speak, they are currently using this. We are releasing Wolbachia carrying mosquitoes from releasing it from above with the approval of the Civil Aviation Authority of Fiji.
A 52-year-old communications officer charged with allegedly importing an illicit drug, namely marijuana, will take her plea next month. Deborah Singh faces 1 count of unlawful possession of an illicit drug and 1 count of unlawful importation of illicit drugs. Singh was arrested on 5th of this month at the Suva post office upon receiving 2 candles from the United States, allegedly containing 1.1 grams of marijuana. The contents of the parcel were tested and proved positive for illicit drugs. The court also heard that the accused will be represented by new counsel. The case will be recalled on September 12th for plea. Up ahead, police working on CCTV feeds for surveillance, and 6 escape early morning Suva blaze. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Fiji Police Force is working with the Suva City Council to include the coverage from a number of existing CCTV cameras into its command centre. Deputy Police Commissioner Rusiate Tunravu says this will help the force monitor activity in and around the capital. Kelly Vadala reports.
The fight against criminal activity not only falls on the shoulders of police, it requires collaboration between police, business owners and the public.
We just have to enslave it into our command center so that we can have a fair idea of what is going on in the city. So these are some of the things. Also acknowledge the support from the nightclub owners and the security officers and the general public at large. We cannot do it alone.
Local Government Minister Pramila Kumar says CCTV cameras are now part and parcel of every upcoming development.
Others have gone beyond
Like for example, Suva City Council, they've got CCTV camera in the streets as well as in Maisuva Park, along with bus station and market.
Members of the public say with the advancements of technology, it's high time they're used for the safety of Fijians.
It can only help just the safety of people.
It's good for it's helping the police.
For the police officers, it will be much more easier for them.
The police force is also conducting night operations in the Western Division and discussions with municipal councils and others on how to keep Fijians safe. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Early this morning, 6 people escaped a fire that destroyed a house on Milverton Road in Suva. It's believed the blaze was caused by a child playing with matches around 7 a.m. Neighbours who saw smoke billowing out of one of the rooms raised the alarm and helped occupants escape before the flames engulfed the house. FBC News was told that the adults in the house were still asleep when the fire started and were caught by surprise when woken up by neighbours. The National Fire Authority extinguished the blaze, however all the home's contents were destroyed.
We saw the flames bursting through the back room. It was coming through very strongly. So our main concern was the children in that house. We knew that there was 2 small children in that house, so we rushed and tried to wake up the family. They were fast asleep. So when we knocked on the door, they were surprised that there was thick, dense smoke inside the house.
Reports have surfaced about bogus agents in Fiji charging money to recruit people for the British Army. The British Legion in Fiji confirmed this to FBC News, saying there have been cases where some people were charged $200. British Legion head of volunteer Kaz Dangerfield says there were recruitment pages set up on social media by the bogus agents to try and lure people into their scheme. Dangerfield says this process is illegal and there's no fee for anyone to apply for the British Army.
Please do not pay anybody. It is completely free of charge to join the British Army. The British Legion here, we are offering a service free of charge. Yes, we charge for scanning of documents and printing of documents because we are a charity, but we will give you all the advice you need and help with your application.
The British Legion has stated they will later report the matter to police as they are still gathering evidence. Turning overseas, Australian broadcaster Alan Jones says he is now the victim of a vicious social media campaign to bring him down. This comes after he said New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern should have a sock shoved down her throat. It has also emerged that Jones has also made another controversial comment about Ardern. And now it's business time with Koroi.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, ATH names CFO. And in growing Fiji, FRA hopeful of Lomani roadworks completion this week. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सबका मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है। हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग खाली मिर्ची एफएम सुनता। गौलटन तावा में मिर्ची एफएम दागो मामा।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The ATH Group has today announced the appointment of Juan de Armas as its new Chief Financial Officer. Prior to taking up this role, de Armas was working for EMPA SA, a Spanish multinational group listed on the Spain Stock Exchange, which has over 30 subsidiaries in 15 countries. ATH says de Armas will boost the management resources of the group. It's time for the latest from the money markets with Shoran from HFC.
Fresh concerns about a global recession led investors to dump risky assets, with US President Donald Trump showing no signs of backing down in his trade war with China. Trump's latest comment was to confront China over trade, even if it caused short-term harm to the US economy. Apart from trade concerns, political turmoil in Hong Kong, Britain and Italy has also intensified the concerns of investors. The focus is now on the minutes of the US Federal Reserve's most recent meeting and a Group of 7 summit this weekend. Traders will look for clues on what additional steps policymakers will take to boost economic growth. In other news, there were some upbeat notions in the Brexit saga, with Angela Merkel seeking to find some way to resolve the backstop. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. With world markets cautious and somewhat confused by the threat of trade war and Brexit, the market was mixed. The Fiji dollar rose against the Chinese yuan and the US greenback, also making gains against the Kiwi dollar and the kina. It slipped against the Aussie dollar, the euro and the yen. Commodities were on the rise. Oil prices rose, remaining above $56 a barrel. Gold was up at $1,503 per ounce, and silver rose to $17.07 per ounce. In growing Fiji, the Fiji Roads Authority has emphasized that roads in the country are being built to ensure they last for more than 20 years, with concerns raised on the current disruption due to the roadwork being carried out in Lomani along the Queen's Highway. The chief executive says this inconvenience is just for a short term. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Fiji Roads Authority is anticipating to complete the road work in Lomani by the end of this week before school reopens for the third term on Monday. Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says the disruption along this road is unavoidable as there is only one link between Lomani and Suva.
We've found that if we let it go through one more wet season, then the road will disintegrate completely. What that means is that it becomes impassable, and the cost of repair 1 year from now would be infinitely higher than it is now. So we took the decision to take out the road completely and reconstruct it.
Moore says they want to ensure that roads are now being built to last several years.
This is not a temporary construction, this is a permanent construction, so it's there for 20 years. I know it's caused some disruption to people, but it's a short-term disruption for a very good long-term gain.
Moore says the road work also depends on the availability of asphalt and the weather condition. He adds some pavement work will also be carried out. They plan to carry out more reconstruction work on the highway along Lomani next year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Gray, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Flying Fijians speak about being named in World Cup squad.
Natango meria, maramani waya manatuya sawa, aweti kitu kutunde nandi ya undo marata kana baronga na Radio Fijian.
Yawa asna vatili, yawa maga Monica. Tondo baronga vale bunar domai biti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosan garse, gor kraki. Do televe na baronga na Radio Fijian, na domai biti.
Bagna rango tsani bukia, ngoni na mosi. Ando talita kana baronga na Radio Fijian, na domai biti su.
Radio Fijian, na domai.
Flying Fijians newbie Tevita Ratuva least expected his name to be included in the final team for the Rugby World Cup. However, with that chapter done, the lock is now focused on living the dream in Japan. Faria Begum reports.
It has been a special year for 24-year-old Tevita Ratuva, who broke into Flying Fijians side this year.
First of all, I'm really excited to be named in the squad for the World Cup. I was not expecting it because all the 5 locks were and 3 experienced locks were in the team, all fighting for support, so I'm really excited and really working hard towards the World Cup.
On the other hand, the battle for position of props is intense leading up to the World Cup, as only 5 will be selected out of the 6 that are currently in camp.
We've kept 6 props in the group training through, you know, for a number of reasons, and there's a rationale behind that. But certainly, our plan is to take 5 props to the Rugby World Cup, which will give us a final number of 31.
McKee says playing Tonga next weekend is crucial, but he remains wary of injuries.
You can't just do it all on the training field, and this match next week is very important for us as part of our preparation towards the Australian game. And yes, we know it's going to be a physical game, and we'll certainly be up for it, and we'll match their physicality. But the important thing for us is to be able to impose our game. I think that we've been working on a lot of things in training which in the PNC we probably didn't quite bring to the fore.
The Flying Fijians meet Tonga in a Pacifica Challenge match next Saturday before they take on Australia in their first Rugby World Cup match on the 22nd of next month. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
During the 2015 Rugby World Cup, young Frank Lomani was an ordinary boy living in his village of Nukumbalavu Savu Savu, focusing on his studies. Fast forward 4 years, and 23-year-old Frank has since earned a reputation as Fiji's leading scrum half, ready to make his Rugby World Cup debut for the Flying Fijians. Save Wanga with this report.
Vanuatu is known to produce talented sports people, and the latest name to join the production line is young Frank Lomani.
Another step forward for, especially for me, as a local player. Before, when there were 4 of us, it's very competitive because we wanted a spot, but now we're fighting for that starting number 9.
From virtually an unknown 2 years ago, Lomani's meteoric rise from the ranks of Fiji under-20, Naita Siri, Vendrua, and now the Flying Fijians has been nothing short of sensational. Always backed by his family, Lomani says a dream that started in Nukumbalavu is now turning into a reality.
Not in my wildest dream, because 4 years ago I was in the village. I was going to school, and I never dreamt to be this fast, because like being in the village, growing up in the village, we always watch them on TV, but now it has come to reality that you're playing against them, with them, and even training with them.
While Lomani is savoring the moment, former Waratahs prop Kalivati Tawake knows the forwards will have to set it up for the likes of Lomani to weave their magic.
For those Wallabies rep, most of them I played with them in the Waratahs. Yeah, most of them I know them very well. Yeah, the main weapon is just forwards, scrumming, line up, and then keeping the game closed.
With eyes fixed on Lomani and his Flying Fijians to rattle the world in Japan, for now it's the hard work being put in that these players know will lay the platform for success. Save Wanga, FBC Sports.
Ratuvere Vungokoto's selection in the Flying Fijian squad for the World Cup is a dream come true for the 22-year-old. However, Vungokoto says there's still a lot to be done in order to make the match-day squads. The youngest of the lot says there's no shortage of healthy competition between players and says fitness is something that he personally wants to improve on.
I never dreamed to be in the squad this fast. I just think I think it's hard work that brings me to be part of the World Cup squad, and I think if I have to come to be in the squad, I have to keep working hard. So playing against these guys, it's great. They've learned a lot from them.
Nanrunga back rower Ermasi Rondronro will captain the Fijian rower side for this year's Australian National Rugby Championship. The team has been in camp for the past 2 weeks, preparing for their first match against Brisbane City next weekend. Rondronro says there's a good balance of young and experienced players in the team who are gelling well. He adds that defending the NRC title will be tough, but he believes the side has what it takes to get the job done.
Second time for me to play for the Under team, and it's a privilege to be captain of the Under team this year. And it's hard decision too, because it's going to be defending the draw for this season, and it's a hard time, so we're going to step up.
Wallabies coach Michael Checker will be naming his World Cup squad in the coming days. More than 25 kids have been using the school holidays to fine-tune their football skills. Children from as young as 6 years old are part of the Dreams Performance Center football clinic at Mahatma Gandhi Primary School ground in Watuanga. Coach and Football Development Officer Ronald Kumar says they've been doing this for over 5 months, and the kids are enjoying it, especially during the school break.
For this 2 weeks here, holiday program, we have it on from Monday till Friday, and then we thought to just teach them some techniques, some playing styles, and some skills, so the kids can have something to learn and then explore in their future.
And I can do rainbow flick and how to shoot, and I have fun playing with my team. It's good to be in Dreams.
Passing and receiving and dribbling and inside foot and outside foot, all those stuffs.
Suva Football Association President Ritesh Pratap says they will dedicate their Vodafone Premier League match against Rewa to the late Suva official Anup Kumar and Waisake Nabuningasau's late father. He says Nabuningasau just recently lost his father, but he will be with the team as he wishes to fulfill his father's football dreams. Pratap says they are going into this match with a mission to win, and fans can expect a stronger Suva side this Saturday.
Wise will be there, Wise will be taking up his place, and I think the inclusion of Michael Bosso at defense with Remeru Tekata. Tekata will be making his comeback this week. He missed the game against Saratoga because of some family commitments, so he'll be there. So I think defense line will be good.
The experience of playing at the 3x3 Basketball Championship in Bali, Indonesia last year has been a source of motivation for young Rusiate Katunimbau. The Etsen secondary school student is amongst the players vying for one of two male spots available in the National Under-18 mixed team to participate at the 3-on-3 Youth Leadership Cup in Bali next month. Akula Dama with the details.
Rusiati Katuni Tambua and national reps Kalesi Tawake along with the Kainamoli sisters Estelle and Tiana represented Fiji last year in Bali.
I know there's a lot of teams out there. We have big competitions. We have schools coming from LDS who are mixing up with a lot of schools in Grandma, Suva schools mixing with the schools in the West. So yeah, we got competition coming up, but yeah, we're up for the challenge, and if we make it, then probably go to Bali again.
This year, Basketball Fiji will select the team to Bali at their Under-18 3x3 Mixed Championship at the Demode City on Friday.
We will register 32 teams. They'll participate in the tournament. And from those 32 teams, they'll compete against each other. The winning team is the team that will take to Bali with me.
Meanwhile, Demode has come on board again to sponsor the 3x3 Championship.
We are very proudly focused also on the development of the youth and youth opportunities. And this is something where Fiji basketball is one of the associated events that we're involved with.
The 3x3 Basketball Championship starts at 9 a.m. at the Demode City Centre in Rewai on Friday. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Silver Ferns coach Nolene Taurua is heading back to New Zealand after her stint in Australia. She's announced she will step down as coach of the Sunshine Coast Lightning in Australia's Super Netball competition at the end of the season. At the same time, extending her commitment with the Ferns until January next year, but her plans beyond that remain uncertain. That's it from sports tonight. Angie joins you with weather later on, but coming up in the Weird and Wonderful segment, new study reveals visiting parks lifts people's mood as much or more than Christmas. Details with Jackie after the break.
हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोते सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नाइक है, गोंगवा लेबू लटो का रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What an amazing Wednesday with cool temperatures. Well, just to add insy-wincy bit of excitement, we're only 2 days away from the weekend. You liked that, didn't you? For today, a bright and a fresh day followed with sunny spells in most areas. Rain is likely for tonight. Now, taking a look in the west, there is no likeness of rain here as it was so serene. Eastwards from Pakhawa to Suva, a cool day with no major showers. However, we might get them tonight. And up north, sunny and cool, Taviuni had slight showers. At sea, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. For the tides, high tide tonight will be at 10:39 p.m. with low tide at 4:52 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:21. Tomorrow, we might wake up to some showers. Apart from that, we're good for another bright day. Tomorrow's temps, most centers will see lows of 21 degrees. And looking further on to glorious Friday, more fine weather prevailing. And it's back to you, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse segment tonight, we asked, should police continue to man traffic control during the school holidays?
Yes, they should be there because of the safety of the people.
Yeah, they should because for children's safety.
I think the police should be there to control the traffic because there's too many traffic going around.
What I can say is that the police should be present because during this busy time.
No, I think there's enough already during this moment.
Yes, I would recommend that police should be doing more duties on the road as to control the traffic and also mentioning that the youths are more on the road with the inappropriate behavior. So I would say yes.
Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, our Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Fong. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Asnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm Makereta from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.